world. The weather outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello and welcome to Country with Celine. Today we are talking to country singer Tera Townsend. She released her latest single, Black and White, and has an album in the works set to be released called Letter to My Ex, which seems to be a very spicy one coming out. So she also opened up for acts such as Thomas Square and Lady Antebellum.
Should have seen it coming. Ooh, where is the truth? Oh, ring on this little lie. It was right there in black and white.
Here we go. Tera, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for asking. Okay, so we kind of chatted about this prior to the interview, so I won't get into it too much, but I recently saw a video that you posted on TikTok, and it was about how you had a fiance, and then he ended up breaking up with you over a phone call. Very BS move, I have to say. But that led you to find plenty better things, like you have a new boyfriend now, and you're engaged. You're engaged to your new boyfriend named Tristan. Did I say his name correctly?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Okay, so
Yes.
From that whole situation that happened with your fiance from before, you ended up releasing a song called Only Want You. And in the music video, it shows you like twiddling around with like your engagement ring, and then you obviously take it off in the end. So I'm assuming that song was dedicated to the fiance at the time, correct?
It was actually, he actually like saw the lyrics before I released the song, and he told me that I was not allowed to release the song because it was about him, and that just like made me like really mad. And I was like, fine, I won't release a song. I'll release an album because you told me I can't do this right now. And so like I am that person. Like if you tell me I can't do something, I will show you that I can, or I will defy you, one or the other. He just made me so mad, so I just said, screw it, I'm releasing a whole album.
Good. I would too. Screw him. That's correct. So just quickly, like touching on that song, like Only Want You, and even like going into this new album that you have coming out for 2021, Letter to My Ex, how difficult was that for you to write? Like how emotional was that for you to release?
So it's actually like, so when I first wrote Only Want You, I was gonna put it on the album in the first place, but like all these other songs that I have, there's like one called Away with Words, and then The Devil Gets in the Way, Liberate Me, and Love Song. Those are 4 songs that I had and already recorded prior to the breakup. And then I was having so much trouble finding what I wanted this album to be about. I was like, I don't want it to just be an album about, this random song like other artists put out. I actually want this to kind of mean something. I've always been that person that likes to tell a story with everything I do. Whether it's through one song or a full album, but it's going to go in chronological order of the songs of how I wrote these songs and got them done. So it's going to start at the beginning with Away with Words and the other songs that I had before he broke up with me, and then it's going to go Only Want You, which is the song that I wrote right after he broke up with me, and I was like really sad and stuff. And then I had another one called Black and White, which is about the text messages that I read between him and the other girl that he was cheating on me with. And I saw some of those messages, and then it's like Heart on My Sleeve, which is like, I really hope she was worth all this because I really hate you right now. And then my final song is Go to Church, and that one just really kicks A in it. So you can just like hear, like, it's like, I'm never forgiving you. You really messed me up. But thanks to that, I actually did find something better. So, but that's the one song that I just want his mom to hear and be like, I really do not like y'all. Y'all, I will never forgive y'all. I hope y'all hear this. Kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. So on that album that's going to be released with the Letter to My Ex, how many songs would you say are on it?
There's going to be 9 songs.
Woo! 9?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be a very interesting story, and I feel like it's really going to move the listeners from like the first song all the way down to the last song. So that's going to be
So they're going to basically, what I love about this is in the order that's going to be in, I love how it's going to tell basically a full story of my relationship with this guy from when we first started dating all the way until we started just not like losing feelings for each other, all the way to us breaking up, all the way to me finding out that he was cheating on me, to the part where I'm just like, I really don't like you. I just can't stand you. Where my anger kicks in. So they're basically going to live a full relationship. So that's kind of a cool concept of why I called it Letter to My Ex.
And when exactly is this album going to be released? Could you give us a month?
I'm hoping June or July. We are finishing up some stuff right now. We just got the cover of it designed. I'm waiting for Go to Church to come back to me, and I got some vocals to do on one more song, and it'll be done then. But I have to do all the paperwork, and that's going to take forever because there's so many players and songwriters and producers on this album, so it's going to take a while to get that done. But without them, without my awesome team at MC1, this wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, there's such a production behind songs, behind albums that get released that
Yes.
listeners don't always get to experience because we just hear the final product. So we don't really know what goes on behind there. But we're all excited to hear when this album is set to release once it's all good. That's going to be interesting as heck. And I'm pretty sure a lot of girls are going to be able to relate to this album.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping.
So you always had a passion for music when you were young, but you got bullied when you were younger because you had a speaking disability and you had ADHD. So growing up was kind of a challenge, especially when you're surrounded by an environment who's not very supportive of you, kind of always trying to tear you down. So can you take us back and explain how you got through all the adversity that you encountered?
Yes. So, growing up, I had a speaking disability. It's called tongue thrust. It's where your tongue is too long and it gets like tongue tied and you can't get your consonants out. So that's what causes you to have a speaking disability. And when people can't understand your consonants, it's just hard for them to make out what you're saying. But music actually got me through it. And scientifically, I did some research on it when I got older. Singing actually scientifically helps your talking and the way you speak, because your mind has to move at a certain pace to sing songs and to enunciate them. And so it actually just like kind of got to the point where I started using that concept in my everyday life and learning how to speak better. I was so quiet growing up that people didn't see that I had a speaking disability because I was so quiet, and teachers never recognized that I had one. So I just kind of had to work on it myself in my daily life, and I would do like exercises to kind of exercise my tongue placement, and it was actually really hard. I mean, I remember using like the tongue pressers that they use at the doctor's office to like push it back and be like, no, I can't like put my tongue forwards. But it got to the point where I was able to control it, and I actually applied it in my everyday life, and it just got better and better as I got older.
It's amazing how singing, you can't tell if someone has a speaking disability, even when you stutter as well.
Exactly.
When you sing, it's just your brain, like you were saying, just works differently, and you're just able to sound so natural, like you're talking and nothing is wrong. So just going back on music and how your passion for music, how did it all begin? Were you surrounded by music as a child? Were your parents musicians? How did it all happen?
Actually, I was never really around music much as a child. I just actually started in pageants. I was saying Barney and Friends and pageants, and it was just like for the little talent part, and I didn't think anything about it. Mom always knew that I kind of like liked to sing. I liked having a microphone in my hand, but she never thought that I wanted to be like a singer. And it just kind of started that way. But as I got older, I had a cousin, Carl Mann. He's actually a rockabilly member, Hall of Fame member. And he passed away recently, and he was kind of like my biggest musical influence in my life when I was a kid, because I saw him on stage a lot, and he had actually released that song Mona Lisa that was a big hit like back in like the 50s or 60s. And so he kind of taught me about music a little bit too.
So you had that environment, I guess, around you where you were kind of influenced by music. What chose you to go through like the country direction instead of like pop or hip hop or rock? What directed you towards the country industry?
So when I was younger, I didn't really hear much pop because I'm from Tennessee. We are surrounded by country music. Like it's kind of just a thing here. And so I heard a lot of older artists like Dolly Parton, Tammy Wynette, Loretta Lynn, Martin McBride. That's who I kind of listened to growing up, and that's just what I naturally sang. And I guess you could also say that I probably couldn't really be much of a pop artist. I am so Southern, and I got so much twang in my voice. I don't know if I can pull it off as much. I actually have one song on the album that's going to be a pop song. And I'm really excited about it. It's my very first pop song, and I absolutely love it. It's probably one of my favorites just because of the production is so awesome on it. And I would like to do pop someday, but I just don't know if my twang would ever let me pull that off.
I mean, if you ever want to go down the pop route, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that difficult. I mean, Taylor Swift did it, so any country singer can do
Yeah.
it as well, right? So those were
Mhm.
your influences growing up. You listened to a lot of Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn. So who would you say would be your dream collaboration?
So she is not country, but she's like my favorite artist. I like know like every single one of her songs, and that would be like Ariana Grande. I absolutely love Ariana Grande. I'm sure everyone says that they just love Ariana Grande, but I love listening to her music because I I can hear like myself get better when I sing her songs in the car, just because like I can challenge myself to hit those high notes, to hit those runs, to hit those whistle tones. And like it's kind of a challenge when I'm in the car singing with her, because I'm like, I have to hit that note. I've been training my voice to be even better, have a wider octave, you know.
But not talking about you again. Let's get back on track here. You've performed at a lot of stages in Nashville. You've performed at a lot of bars all over the Nashville scene. What would you say is your favorite to perform at?
That's a hard one because I sang at so many great places around Nashville. Um, a few that stick out, like a few that stick out at me, like the Sutler. I absolutely love the Sutler stage. That's on 8th Avenue. And I got some bomb mac and cheese too. uh, and then I also like love Nash House. Nash House, the stage is like so nice. I got this big old LED board behind it. It's got like your name projected on it. And when I'm up there on that stage, I just kind of feel like so like so official. I'm like, oh yeah, my name's on this board, kind of thing. And then there's some that I like grew up singing at. Like I started singing at the Commodore Grill when I was like 12 or 13 years old. So I've been in the music scene up here for a pretty good while because I'm like 23 now. So
So did you grow up in Nashville, Tennessee?
no, I actually grew up in West Tennessee in a place called Huntington, and that's actually about 2 hours from Nashville. But I feel like I've run to Nashville because on the weekends when I was younger, I'd come up here and stay in a hotel on the weekends. So I kind of felt like I lived in Nashville my whole life. It's just so like second nature to me. Um,
Do you live?
but I'm actually in a hotel right now because I'm in the middle of getting an apartment kind of deal. It's been a weird year, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been a strange year. So now you're in the works of getting an apartment down in Nashville, Tennessee, in downtown.
Yes. Yes, me and my fiance are looking at getting an apartment together now. So hopefully we can get approved soon and get out of this hotel. Hotel life is expensive. I don't see how the Sweet Love Zach and Cody ever did it.
Oh my God! Right? Imagine how
I
expensive your bill was.
I know. I mean, I guess because she worked there, like probably cheaper. But I mean, living in a hotel is like expensive. Like
Yeah.
it's so expensive, and you don't have, and you have to go out to eat every single night because you don't have a kitchen. So it's being like crazy.
Oh, you got no kitchen? Oh yeah. See, I guess if you got like a suite, like up at the top there with the kitchen and everything, but then that probably cost
Yeah.
you thousands for a night, right?
Yes, it would cost even more. So I'm like, we're just sitting in here, and like I'm living out this little tiny fridge, like this big, and I'm like, when I get thirsty, I have to go up to the front desk and be like, "Can I get like a water or a Dr. Pepper?" It's just been a weird year, but I kind of feel like my life is like the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody's because I'm constantly living in a hotel.
It's okay. Just compare yourself to that and just watch it. It will probably cheer you up too.
I actually binge watched all of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and the Sweet Life on Deck series during my quarantine.
I think everyone has probably binge watched something on Disney Plus or Netflix, right? How can you not? That's all we were stuck doing, sitting inside our homes, our hotels, doing nothing, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I also saw something on your Instagram, which was really cool. You got to experience something really cool about a week ago, and it had to do with NASCAR. You got to race in a NASCAR. Explain that. How was that?
Okay, that was like awesome. So like I grew up, my biggest dream as a kid was to sing at the Daytona 500. I have always been a big NASCAR fan. My family loved NASCAR, and I mean, we are some like Bill Elliott's, Dale Earnhardt, big fans. And so whenever me and my fiance started dating, like back in back in October, we went to Talladega because he lives like 15 minutes away from Talladega Speedway. And so I was driving, I was like, what is that over there? He's like, that's Talladega. I was like, no freaking way. I've always wanted to go to Talladega. And I was like, I've never been. I was like, you've never been to a race. So we actually went, and I was like, oh, I would love to drive one of those cars. And so last week, I actually got to drive one, and I got up to like 145 miles an hour. But you don't feel like you're going that fast, honestly, because like you're so low to the ground, you really don't feel it. But it was so cool. Like but I couldn't get my head like in and out in that big old helmet of that little bitty hole that you have to crawl through because there's no doors on the car, so you have to crawl through it.
Oh, there's
and I'm like,
doors? I didn't
no,
know that.
they don't have doors on NASCARs because like if someone were to hit you, they don't want to like the door, something happen to the door kind of thing. I actually got a video of me driving the NASCAR from like the inside of the car view. So I'm gonna be posting that on YouTube here in like hopefully next month. I gotta still get that edited. You can see me like driving it, and you can just see like I'm just like focused on the road, like I'm not looking anywhere, because like I'm going so fast. You don't want to take your eyes off the road. But I look so serious.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I would be scared too. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably be scared too. But that's such a cool experience. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing experience. That's something you're gonna tell your kids one day. Like, hey, I got to drive a NASCAR. Tara, before I let you go, we're going to play a little game I like to call Country with Celine Rapid Fire. We're going to play this or that. So, would you do this? Would you rather that? Sound good? Okay. Nutella or peanut butter?
Nutella.
Good answer. Hot weather or cold weather?
Hot weather.
Friends or Seinfeld? Seinfeld.
Friends for sure.
Who are you? Monica, Rachel, or Phoebe? Which one?
I think I'm a Rachel.
Me too.
I feel like I'm a Rachel.
Me too. New shoes or new clothes? Yes. New shoes or new clothes?
See, I would probably have to go with new shoes because, like, you can never have too many shoes. But, like, I have so many clothes, I probably don't have anywhere to put them right now.
Oh, that's too funny. I know a girl can never have too many shoes. She can always have a nice pair of heels or a nice pair of sneakers, nice Jordans, you know? But thank you so much, Tara, for joining me today on Country with Celine. I'm really excited to hear this album that's going to come out soon, A Letter to My Ex. Everyone get ready for that. That's going to be on the way shortly. June is coming up, actually. June isn't too much. You know, honestly, you lose track of days because of lockdown, quarantine, this, that. Like, 2020 was a write-off, you know what I mean? But thank you so much. It was such a pleasure chatting with you.
All right, thank you so much for having me on.
Anytime.
But I still